let us know what you think about the team if you're watching this.
Interesting. He's gone with Godfrey at right back again.
Yeah, that is an interesting one actually, isn't it? Because he was pretty poor against Southampton. I mean, I've not seen their team yet, but you'd think that their major threat's going to come down their left-hand side with Lookman.
So their team, there's Areola, Anderson, Kearney, Cordova Reed,
Adebayo,
the fella, Caballero, Lemina, Lookman, Reed, Robinson's playing. I don't know any of them apart from Robinson and Lookman, basically. So yeah, you would imagine, as he said, the main threat's going to come from Lookman, who, bar the penalty miss, has been pretty good for them, hasn't he? But yeah, I think it makes a bit of it shows what a weird decision throwing Holgate in against United was this, for me.
Yeah, and is he on the bench, actually? I'm not seeing that. But
he is. We've got Olsen, Holgate, Davis, Andre Gomez, Sigurdsson, Bernard and Tosin.
The only thing I think might have happened with this is that he might have thought about Mitrovic and trying to play Mina to counter Mitrovic's aerial threat, but Mitrovic isn't playing.
He's on the bench with Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, so I mean,
had a couple of decent options for them off the bench there, but
yeah, I think Mina's an interesting one today, isn't he? Because you sort of look at it and he's been dropped before the break. He's gone away to Colombia, and all the things that come with that in regards to the time difference and.
That's shocker as well, didn't he?
Yeah, and he got sent off as well. And just in general, that's not been a happy camp to be in, has it? Hammers had to put a statement out in the week, sort of saying that we all didn't have a scrap after the game. Actually, lads, it was it was all quite amicable. So that's an interesting one. But I think what's good, mate, potentially is that we've seen in the last few games that there's been maybe, if this is 4-2-3-1 as we maybe think, with maybe a Iwobi on the right, who knows? I'd imagine that's what it would probably be.
Yeah.
But at least it's showing the manager sort of onto the issues, and he's trying to find a way of rectifying that. Because in fact, I'm pretty sure it'll be a Iwobi on the right, because I think after what happened to Godfrey at Southampton with Rodriguez in front of him, there's no way you'd do it again by giving him the But at least he's looked at it and learning. It'll be interesting to see Alan and Decore in a sort of a two, because neither of them are really natural holding players, I'd say. So that'll be interesting to see. But the big ones are Richarlison back in it, mate, and Richarlison back in that lovely yellow kit.
It's huge, isn't it? And he scored, didn't he, on the international break? Scored a lovely header.
Yeah, it's good. Trademark, becoming a bit of a trademark in it for him. Little headers like that, little glancing ones. So yeah,
he's got everything, hasn't he, at the minute?
Yeah. Just very quickly, mate. Jonathan Haddock said, "Pleased to see Iwobi starting in midfield. I hope this works better." If he's in midfield,
Yeah, I think, as you said though, I think the fact that sort of in recent years we've had managers who've had a formation and stuck with it. I think it's good to see that the manager is potentially, we don't know the lineup yet properly, but it's trying something different based on what's gone beforehand, which you've got to do as a manager, really, haven't you? You can't just keep playing the same formation, maybe throwing a couple of different players in like for like. If it's not working, it's not working. And it did look like we've been found out to a degree, didn't it?
Yeah, I think the good thing with that as well, and maybe this is because of the players we've got, but it feels quite flexible, doesn't it? We could easily play Richarlison and Dalm up front with Iwobi and Rodriguez out wide if we wanted to. You go into a 4-3-3, you go to a 4-2-3-1. So hopefully, whatever the game situation is for Everton in this one, they'll be able to adapt and be able to overcome it. Whereas in the past, maybe players who a bit more welded to a certain way of playing a certain system. But interesting lineup anyway, mate. I sort of thought that he'd go back to the 4-3-3 that was working so well early in the campaign and try and stick with that and get back to that. But obviously he's noticed there's some kind of defensive issues there, and he's trying to find a way of sorting it. Interesting that Luca Dean's captain as well today.
Oh, he is, yeah. Good to see.
Yeah, it's good.
Just on the defence then. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think if Seamus Coleman's not on the side, I'd always probably go for him as captain, to be honest. And I know Sigurdsson gets the armband sometimes, but whenever he plays, and he doesn't really resemble a captain or like a captain does he at all in anything he does. It's not committed. No. He's not really vocal. He doesn't lead by example. And while it's largely symbolic, that armband, I think it's good to see Luca Dean getting it, because I think he's a bit more up and a bit more aggressive, and he's just a better player. So fingers crossed that gives him a bit of a lease of life. I think he's had it a couple of times before, hasn't he, Dean?
Yeah, he does seem a more natural fit, doesn't he, for it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's one of our best players as well, and he's probably been one of our best players this season. So fingers crossed, mate. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, just on the defence then. So Fulham in the first 3 games conceded 10 goals, I think it was. They were chipping them left, right, and centre. 4 against Leeds, 1 but they scored 3.
Yeah.
Arsenal, 3 against Villa, and I think they've conceded 1 a game in the last 5. I think it is. So they've really tightened things up at the back. And I was listening to the match preview in the week, and he said the defence is looking a lot better now, a lot more solid. They were unlucky not to get a point against West Ham. They convincingly beat West Brom.
Yeah.
So, potentially not a great time to play these at a ground which is really not a good ground for us either.
No, we had Sammy James on the weekend preview, and he was sort of saying that it's almost been like an unwritten rule between the two clubs for the last however many years that we win the home games and they win the games at Craven Cottage. Both teams win the home games, if you will. So, yeah, I think they made. Do you know what? I think they made a lot of signings that I just sort of didn't realise. Like towards the back end of the window, I think throughout the summer it was sort of like a case if they were trying to do everything they could not to be like they were last year. When they were up in the Premier League last time and they signed loads of players. And then all of a sudden it was they just signed loads of players at the end of the window. You thought, I didn't know he was a Fulham. I didn't know. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I don't know if he's involved in the squad today or not, but he's
on the bench.
Yeah, Joachim Anderson, who's playing centre back for him today, was really highly rated before he went to Lyon and didn't quite work out for him there. Adebayo from City. He's come from the City academy.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, he's another good young player. And then the goalkeeper was at PSG for a long time, and while he wasn't ever, elite and good enough for PSG in that sense, he was, somebody who's got great pedigree, and I think he's done really well for him since he's come in. Real good presence in the area and stuff like that. So I think they have made smart signings, yeah, but there's nothing there you should be fearing, is there? The Cordova Reed up front will run all day, and he'll try and get in behind Mina and Keane. But in terms of quality and link play and stuff like that, there's not a whole lot there. So it's a good chance for us. I mean, that Tom Kearney always has a good game against us, doesn't he? Remember he scored that?
Didn't he? It was his first goal in 10 years or something.
Yeah, he scored on his debut against us for Hull, didn't he? In a game he won 5-1.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And then he scored in last time they were up, didn't he? 2-0 win. So I think there's 2 goals in the Premier League 10 years apart or something like that.
Yeah. Just insert the time for Everton meme, isn't it?
Both against the Toffees.
well, that's it. That game at Craven Cottage last time, I think we were all expecting to win. That was in the middle of that run, wasn't it? Against Chelsea, United, Arsenal. And then we went away and played terrible. Andre Gomez got sent off. I know away games, it's gone weird this season, hasn't it, with the amount of away games won compared to home games. It's all over, which does make you sort of think that the fans do make a difference in that. But this fix has got an 82% win ratio for the home team. So 80% of these games have finished in home wins. I think we've bucked the trend 3 times in the last 10.
I can't remember winning Goodison ever, really.
No, I don't know. They never do it. I think he may have actually won once, as I remember. Oh, no, they haven't.
There we go.
75 in the League Cup. The FA Cup.
It's a weird one, that, isn't it? Because it's not one of those grounds you go to and think, tough place to go today.
It's hardly intimidating, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, if we could have gone today, we'd have all been scrambling for tickets because it's one of the best aways going, isn't it?
Do you know what? If we'd gone today, though, mate, and it would have been a midday kickoff, it would have been a bit gutted, wouldn't we? Because none of those lovely boozers around Putney would have been open, would they, before the game?
Would have been, would they? Yeah, it's a cracking. Yeah, would have had to get a late train back or something.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, they're just. I don't know what it is about them. It's just one of those grounds, and I think sometimes you just have one of those grounds, and even when
we have more than most, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, even when they were up on the Moyes and stuff like that. I remember one year we went down there and absolutely played them off the park, and Fellaini scored twice, and they got an equaliser in the 94th minute. Just totally undeserved. Just a weird team. Just a weird team, a weird stadium, but. It's got to change. That we were saying there before we came on, weren't we? All of a sudden, it feels like a really big one. Because teams that are, I don't know, it feels like the last couple of rounds of Premier League games to me is there there's sort of like a sense of natural order being restored. Like the better teams starting to, put results together.
Yeah.
They're moving up the table, and it feels like if we're going to be anywhere near a conversation for a European place, then then we're going to have to pick up, at least 7 points from the next 3 games, because we've got an absolutely solid run coming up, haven't we, over Christmas in regards to hard games and Carabao Cup quarterfinals, etc., etc. So it's going to be one of them. It's going to be really tough. To stay in touch with those sides, but it's these, because these are probably going to go down. You've got to go, if you want to be, never mind the top 4, top 6 teams, if you want to be a top half team, you've got to go to these stadiums and win and get results. So, test for us, but not one we should be daunted by. And, one Everton should be winning, absolutely.
We shouldn't have anything to fear, but it's a bit of a must win for them as well, because they could really get cut adrift if they lose today. We're looking at the next 3, they've got Leicester, City, and Liverpool.
Yeah.
Next 3. So they'll be looking at this one today thinking, we need to get something here, we need to get a win, really. So could be a nice end-to-end game anyway.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. A couple more comments. Kenny Wright saying, can't understand Mina for Holgate. Mina not good enough, full stop. Like I said, mate, I reckon he was wary about Mitrovic. I'm sure that would have been the thinking behind that, but obviously it's not panned out that way. Kenny said we still have enough for Fulham if we're not in for another bad season. Yeah, I tend to agree there, mate. They're just one of those sides, aren't they? You go through the 11, you go, he's not a bad player, but clearly something's not quite right there. Things aren't working as they should, and everything with the having Richarlison back is just so big, just such a huge boost for us. Having him there just to be a nuisance, to get back and defend, to pose a goal threat, pose an aerial threat, to carry us up the pitch. It had so many more dimensions to our play. So I think with him in the side, I think we'll be all right. Even though I had a dream last night, mate, saying
which we got asking about that. What happened?
So it was 0-0 at half time, and then they scored 4 times in a mad 15-minute spell between 45 and 60. So if it's 0-0 at half time today, I'm going to be panicking.
Yeah, lump on. It does sound quite feasible, that, to be honest.
Oh god, Lookman run was ragged, yeah. But
They've I was listening to on the preview as well. They missed 50% of the penalties, haven't they?
Yeah. They've had a bit of a nightmare of pens on.
So obviously, if it is 0-0 at half time and you are putting on Fulham to win, definitely put a penalty in there somewhere that they will score.
Yeah, I don't think Lookman will be taking it if they get it though.
I can't imagine he would be, no. Do you know? Just going back to Richarlison, I think that's been the thing that's annoyed me most about these last 3 results. If we have got any ambitions of getting back into Europe, you need to be able to change. You need to be able to change your system or your team sufficiently to ride out things like player suspensions and player injuries. We're not going to have James every game. We're not going to have Richarlison every game. We're not going to have Dominic Calvert-Lewin every. We might, because he play, but we might not. And it doesn't seem like there's really much else we can do without them, and we shouldn't be so reliant on them. It might change in January. We might get some other players in who can fill those gaps better. But I think that's been the most frustrating thing for me, that we just haven't coped at all well.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? It's when you've got such a good player, it's just one of those things that happens sometimes, isn't it? He can be so decisive in so many things he does, and he sets the tone in so many things he does. And when he's in the side, you go, everyone looks to him. He's a leader in attack and all those sorts of things. And then when you take him out, it's a bit like, there's a big, massive gap there now. And I think it's about managing the drop-off, isn't it, mate? Like, look at the Reds at the moment, the last few weeks. Van Dijk's a crucial player for them. And he's been out the side, but they found a way to get by, haven't they? Because they've got good players and they've got a good manager and they've got a good setup. And that's just one of those things that happens when you've got better players and a better squad. We're not there yet. We've probably got 4 players in the squad still. If you took out the side, we would probably be in the front 3, any of the front 3, and probably Luca Digne as well will be in, and Nkunku's a good prospect. If you take any of them out this team, then we're probably going to be in a bad way. But that's just how it is at the moment. And so you're like, I'm saying this on every show at the moment, but going back to what the manager said in the summer, it's going to be evolution, not revolution. And that means that we're still going to have to take some pain every now and then. Like the last 3 games, hopefully today we've got, effectively a full strength side out, apart from the right back, is where things start to turn around. So no excuses really. With that attacking 4, that should be more than good enough to cause big problems today. Yeah,
it sort of feels like I'm not sure if we should maybe approach this January transfer window like a summer one, really, just because it's all over the shop, and there's obvious places where we need strengthening. Maybe we'll see. See,
I sort of think they'll gauge where we are on the table. You know, if we're like at 3 points off fourth or something like that, then maybe they might think go and sign a big player and push on. But I don't know. I think we haven't really done much January business, have we, since Brands has been here? So don't know. We definitely need another forward, don't we? You know, can't have Chen coming off the bench and.
No, it is quite demoralising that he's back on the bench then.
Is Anthony Gordon on the bench?
No.
Kate has asked us how specific were those goal times for the dream I had, I'm assuming.
Yeah, true.
It was just like a mad 15 minutes, mate. Like, it just all went crazy. Like, yeah.
Just headshots.
If it happens, honest to God, if that happens, mate, I'm retiring. Retiring from Everton forever.
Start calling you Mystic Matt if that happens.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'll go into a different career, I think. Yeah.
So on to the toffees. Everton have won. Here's a stat. Everton have won their last 2 league matches in London, as many as they had in their previous 26 trips.
Wow, that's great.
Last won 3 straight league fixtures in the capital back in April '87.
I like that. That's a good stat.
That is a good stat, isn't it? Courtesy of the BBC, that one. And when I was looking through the results, like previous fixtures between Fulham and Everton. Fulham are one of the few teams who've actually played league games outside the top flight against.
Ah, okay.
We lost 3-0 in 1952 and drew 0-0 down there in 1954. We got promoted that season, runners up, Leicester won on goal difference.
Oh, okay. God, that's mad. It's mad to think of us playing outside the top flight.
Yeah, I know, that's what I thought when I saw the result. I saw Div 2. It just really doesn't crop up. It's not a natural thing to look for. Just trying to look for results in 86, 87. I imagine it was when we beat Arsenal away. Anyway.
Okay.
I imagine that was in that run. Wayne Clark's chip. What a goal that was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You would have thought it would have been them, wouldn't you? Yeah.
What's that?
I said you would have, yeah. I was just thinking about those games and that goal.
Yeah, I would imagine it was in that. Score predictions. Should we have a look at them?
Yes. Everyone was in more sprightly spirits on the Blue Room group yesterday. I think before the United game, it was just a list of boring predictions, wasn't it?
It was Saturday night. The beers had just been bought or got out the fridge.
Maybe we need to be more tactical in when we ask for predictions.
Saturday night's not the time, is it?
Yeah.
KJR said formation change. IT Kate right there.
Oracle Riley.
Oh, yeah. 1-0 the Plucky Blues and the Blue Heart. And Mark Mosey said Everton 2, Dave Downey's Intel 1. If anyone doesn't know about that, by the way, Dave did a little bit for the Fulham programme this week, in which he sort of gave away every Everton trade secret ever. And obviously that's where the Fulham manager goes to find out these things. So if we get beat, it's a combination of Dave's fault and Matt's fault.
Maybe that's where Fulham have been going wrong down the years. They've been taking tactical advice from the programme and not from the manager and the scouts.
This is true. Well, I used to do the stats page for their programme, so it's probably not, to be honest. Everton 2, Atletico Hugh Grant 0.
Hugh Grant's sound, by the way, isn't it? It transpired yesterday.
Hugh Grant's ace.
Yeah.
Did you see him? He invited that lad down.
Yeah. That was rough, wasn't it?
Do you know what? He's been one of the unexpected good news stories out of Twitter and politics these last few years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
If anyone was going to be a bad Tory, I thought it'd be him.
For a while, I didn't know that was him on Twitter.
Yeah.
I thought it was somebody else. I thought it was like another Hugh Grant, like who's famous and got a blue
Yeah, because there's nothing to suggest it's him, is there?
Yeah. But no, sound.
Laura said 5-0 Toffees. Adamola Lookman hat-trick of own goals.
Nice. That'd be nice, yeah.
Mike,
I've got no ill feeling towards Lookman, really, have you?
No, I haven't really. It was obviously hard for him, wasn't it? He obviously couldn't settle. The managers he played under.
Yeah.
Must have been there. You're struggling to settle anyway. And then you're a flair player under players like Allardyce and Koeman.
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work out, does it?
No, it doesn't. It just doesn't click. It's like if Moise Keane went on to be one of the best players in Europe. I know we haven't given him much game time and he's doing well over in France, but it could be one of those where it's not the league for him, it's not the team for him. It just doesn't work. And you've got to accept that without pointing fingers at people and putting blame anywhere.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see him do well after today.
Yeah, after today. Yeah. Mike, they actually said 3-1 Toffees, and yes. Simply put, 0-0 shite. So
good. Maybe Dave haven't, discovered that people at Fulham are onto him, is trying to lull them into a false sense of security by saying 0-0.
This could be it.
Maybe after being pulled up on his intel by naming Richarlison as our key player, now he's going the other way and being like, "Oh yeah, we're going to draw 0-0, lads. It's it's going to be a boring game. Don't worry about us, Fulham. We can't score goals." And they're going to go, "Oh yeah. Do you know what? You might be right. Let's just take it easy."
It's a strong tactic.
Yeah, there you go. Reverse psychology.
Yeah, he has played the long game with that one. I think the reality of all this is that people assume that anyone reads the programmes.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
One in my life.
I just like to smell the programmes. Programmes smell great.
Yeah. Especially on Goodison Road with the horse smells and the chippy smells and the programme smells. It all sort of...
it's just
something quite wonderful.
I don't think they made out the same stuff anymore, actually, but when they had like that sheen on them.
That sheen, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were fantastic, yeah.
Good old days.
Yeah. Probably says a lot about watching Everton down the years that I'd rather sit there and sniff the programme and watch the team.
At 90 minutes sniffing the programme.
Yeah, anyone sees me in the ground, just held up.
Got to get some enjoyment out of this bloody game.
I'm sure people watching this will agree. Programme smell, maybe not so much anymore, but they used to smell incredible.
Yeah. Does anyone still buy them, I wonder? I suppose you order them now, don't you, to get delivered by the club?
Yeah, I got one for the derby. Do you remember the one at lockdown?
Oh yeah,
yeah, got one for that. But yeah, do you know what? If you could do a programme smell candle, I'd buy that.
That's a good callback to a mailbag question Adam Sutton asked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'd be all in with that. Maybe get a Kickstarter going. We should start that up. Be club specific as well.
Yeah.
Just put a slight taint on the LFC one.
Wonderful.
So the game kicks off in just over half an hour. The BBC coverage starts in 15 minutes. If you've obviously had all the best build up here.
I bet you they would be speaking about programmes candle smells.
In fact, I wonder who'll be on today. Jermaine Genius will be on because he's on everything at the minute.
Ooh, let's have it. I'm going to guess Tim Cahill.
Tim Cahill would be good. Does Leon Osman do?
Yeah, I think he does BBC sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah. I'm going to go with Leon Osman then. Leon Osman and Jermaine Genius.
Is this our new prediction? Guess the pundit.
Yes. Guess the pundit. We're scraping the barrel that much. We're playing Guess the pundit. Yeah. You can tell me can't you?
Oh, no, I know.
Right, so you doing post-match?
Yes, Mark Mosey, Adam Sutton for now. Usually someone else says they want to come on. It depends on while it's going. Like the positive people like to come on if we're winning. And then if we're losing, like if we are 4-0 down after an hour, as I dreamt, I can guarantee I'll get a message from Dave going, "Get me on."
I noticed that the well did definitely dry up from the early season, didn't they?
Oh, everyone was desperate, weren't they?
Fighting them off early season.
I know. Mark Mosey's been consistent, to be fair.
He has.
Rain or shine. Adam Sutton tends to be, he commits as well, but the others are a bit fair weather, depending on what suits their analysis skills, whether it's moaning or being positive. So
it's all about the brand, isn't it?
All about the brand, yeah.
Right, so you'll be back on here after the game,
yes,
with post-match, and game kicks off in just over half an hour. Hopefully, it won't bring our weekend down, and the Toffees will get a much-needed win, and we will climb up the table, if only a little bit. Thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone who joined in and asked questions.